Moral agency is an individual's ability to make moral choices based on some notion of right and wrong, and to be held accountable for these actions. Our understanding of animals as moral agents has grown rapidly in the past few decades, supported by empirical evidence for three key facts. 1. Animals experience emotion that motivates moral behavior and altruism, such as empathy. 2. Animals have complex, cooperative cultures in which they learn social rules and conventions and have both social and moral obligations to their group. 3. Animals make decisions and choices. Animals constantly make decisions about many problems that are similar to those faced by humans. We now know that animals choose how to act based on knowledge, information, emotion, and reason. Reasoning has been demonstrated in animals from across the species, including mammals and birds. Animals make decisions about risks and rewards based on their environmental and social context. They can make decisions for social, empathetic, or moral reasons. We now know that animals with more experience and knowledge can make more empathetic or moral decisions. And they can learn about consequences for socially right or wrong behavior. Young animals don't just culturally learn practical skills and acquire practical information. They also learn social skills and acquire social information, such as social rules and conventions. In animal societies, as in human societies, individuals learn about right and wrong, or good and bad behavior. They learn consequences for actions, which are either rewarded or punished. Rules are enforced by older or dominant individuals. Social and moral codes of conduct underpin social groups, in which each adult knows its position of authority, and there are few, if any, instances of overt strife. Learning social convention, the behavior required of you by a social group, is a part of being a social animal. Social animals live in cooperative, organized societies. Just as cooperation, fairness, and morality evolved in human social groups, so did they evolve in animal social groups. Ancestors of many other animals plausibly also lived in rich social ecologies that involved cooperative endeavors like hunting, defense against predators, care for infants, grooming, play, and so forth, and thus plausibly also needed the social glue that morality is taken to provide. All social animals live in societies that have rules and social conventions that govern interactions and how animals within a group should behave to maintain social cohesion and harmony. Social convention dictates everything from etiquette such as saying hello or goodbye and maintaining a socially acceptable duration of eye contact to conventions like dominance hierarchies, communication signals, foraging strategies, and territorial boundaries. Individuals that deviate from the norm may face ostracism or aggression from other group members. Punishing strategies are used to establish and maintain dominance relationships, to discourage parasites and cheats, to discipline offspring or prospective sexual partners, and to maintain cooperative behavior. Chimpanzees appear to engage in third-party policing of behavior, which seems to indicate the existence and enforcement of norms of conduct within their communities. Special place is typically accorded to infants, for instance, such that aggression towards them is met with loud protests and active intervention on the part of uninvolved bystanders. Observations examining responses to potential acts of infanticide or mishandling of infants have been interpreted as evidence of rules against infanticide in chimpanzee communities. Many social mammals appear to enforce various behavioral norms. Social play and play fighting in species such as chimpanzees and dogs has been described as involving rules governing play, signaling to potential rule enforcers, and modifying actions when playing with a younger or weaker partner. Primates, dogs, wolves, and dolphins appear to punish individuals that break the rules governing such interactions, such as ostracizing animals that play too aggressively. Social rules are enforced through a combination of behaviors such as physical displays of aggression, vocalizations, social exclusion, body language, and sometimes even coordinated group actions to punish individuals who violate the norms of their community. Some research suggests animals have a sense of outrage when social codes are violated. Animals breaking social or moral obligations may be punished collectively or individually. And punishment can be either aggressive or passive-aggressive. Male sparrows decide how much to provide for their chicks based on the tendency of their partner to cheat. Birds often divorce cheating spouses. Birds with both high divorce rates and male promiscuity include plovers, swallows, martins, orioles, and blackbirds. Male shrikes punish unfaithful females. When male bluebirds are out foraging to provide for their mate's nest, female birds may step out with another male. Cuckolded males will beat their straying partners when they return, ripping out their feathers and snapping their beaks. Brown-headed cowbirds punish egg rejectors by destroying the entire nest. Female weaver birds punish males by destroying the nest they build if they find them inadequate. Female vervet monkeys have been found to punish males who fail to participate in intergroup fights, while males punish females who instigate intergroup fights. Like humans, chimps reward cooperation and punish freeloaders. In studies with fish and birds, dominant individuals were observed harassing apparent defectors who weren't helping enough. Another study found that mole rat subordinates became lazier when dominant females were experimentally prevented from punishing them. Credible threats and punishment may help to maintain cooperation by subordinate helpers. Individuals are expected to help the group find food and other resources. Monkeys often give characteristic calls upon finding food. Monkeys that failed to call when they found food were more likely to be attacked than were those that did call a result widely interpreted as punishment for defecting. In human societies, social behavior is strongly influenced by threats of punishment, even though the threats themselves rarely need to be exercised. Evidence suggests that similar hidden threats can promote cooperation and limit within-group selfishness in some animal systems. Threats to terminate a cooperative interaction, exit threats, can, if they are effective, curtail the level of within-group selfishness. Bargaining might take various forms in nature. Research has shown that animals know how to bargain and barter, and they are aware of their own bargaining power and the bargaining power of others. While dominance hierarchies are often referred to as a feature of a social group, the hierarchy itself exists in the brains of the individual animals that store information about relative bargaining power. The result is that animals with more bargaining power, i.e. the ability to impose costs, deny benefits, or otherwise exert control over the actions of another, leverage this power. Animals understand that being in a social group with rules versus being out on your own is a trade-off. If the costs outweigh the benefits, they may choose to leave and either find a new group or start their own. If they choose to stay, they choose to follow the rules or face the consequences. Threats can act as a warning to prevent consequences eventuating. The effectiveness of a threat requires that both parties have information about the consequences of the threat and the conditions under which it would be carried out. Facial signals, dominance displays, and low-level aggression may credibly signal an impending threat of eviction or attack if they involve real costs to signalers. Threats are implicated in stable dominance hierarchies and where animals appear to have plenty to fight over, but overt conflict is absent. Some animal societies actively exclude or force members out of their group to punish undesirable behavior. This can be seen in species like meerkats, chimpanzees, and even certain types of fish, where the outcast may be physically driven away from the group. This could be for behaviors like stealing food, aggression towards other group members, attempting to mate with a dominance partner, or simply not contributing enough to the group's well-being. There is even evidence that when expectations for parenting are ignored, retaliation sometimes occurs. In one instance, when a mother lemur violently rejected her 3-month-old infant, the infant's grandmother attacked her daughter, who subsequently allowed the infant to remount her. The grandmother seemed to be teaching her daughter how she ought to act toward her infant, an apparent attempt to instill virtue, or at least acceptable behavior. This and other cases suggest that some animals perceive themselves as obligation-possessing beings. A moral obligation to the youngsters of the group appears to be widely recognized, and is apparent in the behavior of animals across the species, who join forces to protect them, enforce rules to play gently with them, form coalitions to prevent infanticide, and sometimes engage in the cooperative care of them. Animals appear to recognize the moral virtue of caring for youngsters, and the baby effect is shared across species. Researchers observed that male monkeys with an infant were more likely to make male monkey buddies, as the presence of a tiny, defenseless baby immediately breaks down barriers. When a male Barbary macaque comes across another male with a baby, it sets off a bizarre ritual. The males sit together, embrace each other, then they hold up the infant, nuzzle it, and lip smack while making low-frequency grumbling noises. The study also showed that monkeys sometimes borrow babies and proceed to use the infants as friend magnets. Good relations and friendships are important to social animals. Platonic relationships might be just as important as the relationships that make more baby monkeys. Researchers observed that, just as with female baboons, males with more social bonds, those platonic grooming relationships with females, lived longer. The same pattern has appeared in other social animals, ranging from horses to dolphins. Even in humans, friendships are linked to longer life. It's not clear why, though. In both humans and animals, social bonding induces positive emotions, and the same hormones and neurochemicals associated with these feelings, such as oxytocin and serotonin, which are linked to increased health and immunity, while social conflict increases stress hormones such as cortisol, which is linked to decreased health and immunity. Like us, animals prefer the rewarding emotions. And it is in their own interest to act in the interest of harmonious relationships. Conflict management is a key component of the social lives of animals. The deep roots of morality are inherent in individuals and fundamental to social groups.